All right, joining me today is Deniz Ilbay, who fights Vladimir Lengal at Oktagon 66. That fight is on February 1st. So, Deniz, I want to start here. You're coming off that giant knockout victory, and not just a knockout victory, but at the bigger than ever German stadium show. So, I got to ask, because I'm asking every German fighter I get the chance, what was that crowd like for you in that stadium show?
I mean, in the beginning, I had the first fight, so I was a little bit sad. But there were no really 60,000 people at my fight. But I mean, something around 30 or 40,000 was there. It was a nice feeling. It was crazy after I finished him and I jumped on the cage. I hear the crowd and I looked around and I was thinking, man, this is really bigger than ever. And after I watched the last couple fights and the stadium was the lights um, was shut down and everything, it was a crazy feeling. So it was for me. It was important to be also on the card and fight there and not only be there as a guest. So it was for me. It was a. I mean, I started with MMA 2 years ago. And 2 years later, I'm fighting at the Germany's biggest event that we ever had in MMA history in Germany. So it was a good feeling.
And is that crazy for you, to go from, obviously you've got a combat sports background. It's not like you haven't been in front of big crowds before, but to enter into this sport just 2 years ago and now to be fighting, even if you said it was 30, 40,000 instead of 60,000, that's still 30 or 40,000. Is it
Yeah.
crazy that many people are coming to your fights just 2 years in?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for myself. So I'm a guy who always brings action, and people love action. And the same thing was 3 months before in Prague when I fight in front of 30,000 people. It was also crazy, also a spectacular finish, and it's crazy. It's a nice feeling when I watch the videos with my kids and my oldest son always says, "Wow, Dad, there are so many people who are cheering for you. That's crazy." And are you a famous person? And I said, "No, Daddy is not a famous person, but the people like Daddy." And yeah, I mean, it's part of the sport. For me, it doesn't matter if I fight in front of two people, three people, or 10,000 people. But it's something that you can write down in your book, in your how you call it, in your in your list, in your bucket list. You can make a check after behind that, and yeah, that's something I said to my dad. We must be on this card, and Octagon said to me, if you have a spectacular win in Prague, this is your ticket for Frankfurt. And yeah.
I love it. Now, I've also heard some people say that they prefer, it sounds like you don't really care what the crowds look like. They prefer like more of a tight, inside arena kind of feel to the big stadiums. Did you have a preference? Did you like the outside version better than the inside?
I mean, I also in the end of 2023, I fought in my hometown in Cologne, Germany, in the Lanxess Arena. It's one of the biggest arenas in Germany. I think also in Europe, and this is an incredible feeling because I also walked in with the song of our city, and I mean, from the 20,000 people, don't let me lie, 15,000 people were from Cologne. And after I walked to the cage and I realized, man, that's not the music. That's the voices from the people who is singing our city song. It's crazy. For me, I always say first comes Cologne, Lanxess Arena with 20,000, and then Frankfurt with 60,000. But I prefer more the arena atmosphere because it's closed and it's crazy to describe.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you're going to get a lot more of those choices and a lot more of those big fights if we keep getting wins. So, I noticed, now Octagon's rankings got you number 10 in your division right now. What are sort of your goals for 2025? Where would you like to see, obviously we're not looking past Lango, but like what would we like to see in the year 2025?
Uh, like I said before, for me, it doesn't matter who I'm gonna fight. I just want to be. I want to fight better guys. I want to fight the guys who are ranked in front of me. And a lot of people don't know that I should fight Lengal in September 2022. But I don't know why the fight don't happen. My manager sent me a topology link and said, "Hey, you look, you can fight this guy." And Lengal was 2-2, and I was 2-0, I think, something like that. And I said, hey, look, for me, it doesn't matter who I'm going to fight. Just bring me an opponent at this day, and everything's fine. And yeah, after Prague, yes, after Prague last year, I also said to him, look, let us fight against Lengal in Frankfurt. And he said, no, Lengal gonna fight 4 weeks before against Corey Fry. I don't know when he's hurt, if he can fight. And I said, okay. And after Frankfurt, Oktagon came to me and said, at the same evening, the guys from Oktagon came to me and said, hey, you want to fight Lengal in Düsseldorf? And I said, yes, of course. Let us do this, man. So for me, it doesn't matter. I just want to fight better guys. I'm not scared to lose. You know, I'm not scared to lose. For me, it doesn't matter. I also said, I just got an interview 10 minutes before we started now here, and the guys asked me, yeah, when the people gonna ask you if you want to fight Keta in 4 weeks, would you do it? Yes, of course. Why not? He's a good guy, but I'm also I'm not nobody, you know. So and what can I? The only thing that can happen is that I gonna get knocked out or I lose or whatever. But hey, if you have one opportunity like this and you don't do it, leave the sport.
I love that mentality. So let's talk about now actually getting to fight Lengal, because you said, you've been matched up a bunch of times. It's been very close. It's kind of a fun stylistic matchup because you coming from a boxing background, he's done some boxing as well. Are you excited about the matchup in that it's not a guy who just wants to take you down all the time? It's a guy who seemingly will want to throw hands with you?
If I'm honestly, for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's also a good guy. He was in Thailand for 4 weeks, I think, and he also trained his grappling and wrestling skills. We also did our homework, but I always say a real champ can adapt to everything. And for me, it doesn't matter if you want to grapple with me, if you want to wrestle with me, or if you want to bang with me. I'm there for everything, you know. So. For me, it doesn't matter. It's the most important thing is that we leave the octagon healthy, and one of us must win, or there will be a draw. But I don't think so that some stylistic fight like this that there will be a draw. But like I said, we are there not to make friends, not to compete. We are there to win.
I love it. Well, you led me perfectly to my last question. I love to end these things with a prediction. You left it kind of vague, but tell me, how do you expect this fight to end on February 1st?
I think it will be finished end of the first or lately end of the second round. There will be a finish. Yes.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This has been Deniz Ilbay, who fights Vladimir Lengal at Oktagon 66. Once again, that fight, February 1st. Deniz, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend.